Hi, YouTube. Anyway.
Hi, Rob.
Wow. YouTube, you sound decidedly girly. Alright, so we are driving through Vernon. And if Peach, who's holding the camera, would aim the camera out the window, you'll see the great big hill we're going down.
Here we go.
It's actually a big hill. It may not seem like it on video, I don't know. But it's actually the second highest peak in the state of New Jersey.
Second only to High Point.
High Point, yeah, High Point, New Jersey being the highest peak.
Obviously.
And it's actually not that far from here. It's because we live in the mountains. So yeah, this is the second steepest, second biggest hill in the state. And we have to drive it every fucking day, pretty much.
It's a dangerous road. It's called Breakneck.
Yeah, Breakneck Road. Aptly named. And a lot of accidents on this road. We were going to talk about Kizzume or Kizzume, whatever the hell his YouTube name is supposed to mean. I call him Mr. Fister because he kind of strikes me as being the leather chaps and collar kind of guy, being a gay man. And having been around the block a few times, I actually drew a map of the block. But having been around the block a few times, I've met a lot of people. And he definitely reminds me of the kind of guy you might find kind of lurking in the dark corners of an adult bookstore, the back room, but the videos, you know, with their name etched over the glory hole kind of a thing. And I don't really say that to sound insulting, but that's really that's what he reminds me of. That's the kind of guy he reminds me of. And when he starts talking about what's appropriate as far as compliments and comments towards not just women, but just other people in general, it just kind of seems to me what he's doing is he's talking about what his own personal opinions are about what he considers to be appropriate conversation. Or a pickup line, I guess.
I have absolutely no interest in getting with really anyone, whether it's a woman or a man, who believes in shunning sexuality, who believes that telling someone nice ass is degrading to someone.
He basically is saying that if you see a complete and total stranger that you've never seen before and you find them physically attractive, shouting out to them, "Hey, nice ass," or "nice cock," "nice tits," whatever, that's actually a compliment and it should be, you know, received as such. I personally think he sees himself as an object. Very little self-esteem. He considers himself to be an object. So when someone objectifies him, it reinforces his own opinions of himself. And that makes him feel good.
It's twisted.
It's twisted. It is twisted. But it does kind of make sense. He sees himself a certain way, and when other people see him that way, it reaffirms his correctness about himself, and it makes him feel good. So since he feels good about it, everyone should feel good about it.
Well, his opinion is that the reason that women, I guess in his mind, behave as though they're insulted is because this has been dictated to them by feminism.
Right. It's got nothing at all to do with the fact that they see themselves as human beings who are entitled to respect. And he claims that people are demonizing sexuality. And that's nowhere near even being accurate. I mean, it's okay to look at someone and notice their physical attributes that you find appealing. That's what happens with most people. In most couples, I mean, it always typically starts as a physical attraction. But you reserve those comments that you might feel like saying for a time when they're more appropriate. You know, you see somebody, maybe you think they have a nice ass, or, you know, you like the bulge, or you like their breasts, and you want to say something, and you feel like saying something. So you approach them and you say, "Hey, How you doing? I noticed you standing there, walking by. How you doing? My name is Kizzume. Now you've introduced yourself. Now you're not just some creepy stranger saying, hey, nice ass. And now you've given them the ability to either decide immediately if they want to engage in conversation or tell you to fuck off and leave them alone. And there would be, either way, completely and entirely within their rights to do so. And if they decide they want to keep talking, you might say, you know, I find you attractive. You've got a nice little butt. Whatever. I mean, even as tasteless as that might seem, it's a hell of a lot more respectful and appropriate than just shouting out to somebody. You really want to appeal to someone. If you really want to compliment them, the first thing you should do is at least acknowledge their humanity. And that's just my opinion.
I agree. I remember the first time that I was shouted out, you know, from some passerby, but I was only 12 years old. And
that's creepy.
Well, they didn't, I hope they didn't know I was that young. But yeah, I mean, this was like the first summer that I had kind of a grown-up body, but my brain was still, you know, very much a child. And it really frightened me because it gave me the impression that I wasn't a person to them.
That's exactly what that does. Now, me, as a teenager, I was kind of awkward. I was awkward looking. I was awkward. I was not, you know, this sexy man that you see now.
Clearly.
I was awkward. So, I mean, I had girls that would like hunt me down, kind of stalk me. I actually had a few like female stalkers when I was in high school.
Wow, it wasn't just your future wife.
No, and yeah, she was one of them, and I married her. Yeah, I had a few. And like I said, I was just really awkward. I was awkward looking, and I was just awkward in every way. But as an adult, I mean, after I was married and after I had gone through the service and everything, I was hit on frequently by men and women. And women were typically more tactful, or they did the stalking thing. And men would just basically come straight out and say things, sometimes like, you know, nice ass, or even nice eyes. Or, and this is one actually I still get, I want to fuck you.
Just come right out and say it, huh?
Just because he is okay being objectified, and that he is okay objectifying people, not just women, but people in general. I mean, he even went as far as to say that when you look at a baby, you immediately objectify the baby as being a baby. AKA a thing.
No.
So in his mind, well, exactly, no, he's wrong. But in his mind, he sees living things, living beings, as being simply a thing. And dismisses the humanity and the person, and goes immediately to an object. And that's not just with women or men. He does it with everyone. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
It's like you said, if he went to an adult bookstore and he said something like that, it would be totally different.
Right.
You would expect something like that.
Right. In context, it would be considered the norm. It would be the expected. I've been to adult bookstores.
You've taken me to one.
I took Peach to one. I've been to adult bookstores. I've been to adult theaters. Hell, I just posted a pic on Facebook of me wearing a chain, thong, and stockings on a stripper pole.
Yeah, now we know what you like to do on the weekends.
Yeah, you know, that's what I do in my spare time. I rollerblade, eat ice cream, surf, hang glide, and strip, wearing stockings and combat boots. And quiet walks on the beach. But I mean, one of his arguments is that the people who are making the argument against him, people like me, people like you, people like UnseenPerfidy, that basically our viewpoint is being molded by being prudish and by being indoctrinated by religious thinking, or is stuff that's being promoted by feminism. How can anyone accuse me
of any of those things?
You know, a former escort, stripper, I'm
still an exhibitionist.
Exhibitionist. Erotic massage. The things that I've done would probably make Kizzume blush. How he could accuse me of being prudish is pretty bizarre. I mean, his entire viewpoint on this is bizarre.
I guess at the end of the day, it's just really about context.
It's about context. And I think you would think at Mr. Pfister's age that he would know that by now.